Moved in from the west, Gene Wright of Gordon, Texas.
Okay, good morning and welcome back to the WSJM Morning Show. This is the Tuesday edition for May 20th, 2025. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me this morning, a special guest co-host, Quintin Carroll. Quintin, good to see you. It's good to see you.
Well, thank you.
You're usually here on weekends. I think I've run into you a handful of times. Most recently, it was that Saturday morning when the station had lost power.
Oh, that was fun.
But Quintin has been with Midwest Family Marketing and Media for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
You also work at Cook Nuclear Power Plant, but on the weekends, you get to come over here and do radio.
Right.
Which is a kind of a passion of yours.
And have fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your first memory of radio?
My first memory of radio was in Chicago, WVON 1450.
On the AM dial.
On the AM dial.
Listening. When did you listen?
Oh, goodness.
Because I remember, I remember listening to, my parents gave me a clock radio.
Okay.
Instead, on my 16th birthday,
Okay.
Instead of a car,
Right.
they gave me a clock radio.
Okay.
They gave my brother a car for his 16th birthday. I got a clock radio.
Oh, that was nice.
I'm not bitter about this at all.
No?
Not not bitter about this all, but no, lots of stuff going on. But anyway, clock radio. So I remember listening to that thing and just leaving it on all night long to my favorite classic rock radio station. It was 94.5 Cats FM in Yakima. And all I wanted to do from the time I started listening to radio like that till I did was be in radio. And that's what I did. It was a lot of fun.
Same here. Yeah.
What were you? So you were listening. What were you listening to in Chicago?
It was soul music, I guess you want to call it, R&B soul music.
Yeah.
I was about 6, 7, 8 years old, and in the car at home, my family would play the radio station in the car, and at home, I'm sitting there listening, jamming out, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
And these guys were having so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, wow. They're telling jokes. They're enjoying themselves. They're having a good time.
Yeah. Who do you remember?
Let's see here. There was Bill Crane.
Yeah.
There was Herb Kent. And these guys were awesome.
Yeah.
They really inspired me to get into radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always been my dream job.
And you schooled up in it a little while, right?
For about 2 years in Chicago, Columbia School of Broadcasting, which was not Columbia College.
Okay.
It was a different type of thing where you had assignments to do. You go in, they give you homework or schoolwork. You go in, you practice, you read. We had studios with turntables.
Oh, yeah.
Cart machines and reel-to-reel machines.
It's funny because I when I got into radio as well, we had cart machines, and what the cart machine was, if you don't know, it looked like an 8-track tape.
Exactly. Yes.
It looked like an 8-track cassette tape, but inside was this endless loop of magnetic tape.
Right.
And it would just play in a circle, and so you'd try to fit as many commercials on that one tape as you could. For like a hardware store, you'd have maybe a 60-second commercial, and maybe you had a 3-minute cart. You'd put 3 commercials in there, and you'd have to put tones on it, and that's where you'd play the commercials from. Today, we play everything from the computer.
Yep, that's right.
So you don't have. Did you ever have to clean the cart machines?
No, I did not.
I had to do it every shift. We had to get the little alcohol swabs, and it was a whole process. And then the reel-to-reel machines were great.
Yes.
Because as you were recording, if you ever made a mistake, you could fix it by getting out the razor blade and a piece of tape, and you could cut out the error and splice it together. I became master at that.
I never did.
Oh man, it's a lot of fun. I'll teach you how to do that.
Oh, good.
We just have to find a reel-to-reel machine.
Yeah, where can we find one?
I think we've got a couple out back. All right. Well, Quintin Carroll is here. He's my special guest co-host this morning. We're going to have fun all morning long. We've got news to get to. We've got our weather forecast. We've got sports. We've got a whole lot more. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Back in just a minute. Good morning.
You need extra cash? Go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:05 on your Tuesday morning. It's the 20th of May. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. I have a special guest co-host in this morning, Quintin Carroll. Quintin Carroll is typically he works on the coaches show on the weekends, but we lured you in.
Well, yeah, not exactly. I'm out of my element right now because I'm used to being behind.
You're usually in control.
Yes, not this time.
Not this time. We've got you
not
over in
this
the
time.
guest
Yes.
chair. How's it feel over there?
It feels good.
Okay, good.
Something different.
Good. Well, that's what we like to bring is something different every morning. And so we're going to be talking with Quintin all hour long, just talking about what things that we talk about. We'll talk a little bit about our news. We'll talk about ourselves. We'll talk about what you want to hear about. We'll talk about parking in downtown St. Joseph.
Ooh, great subject.
Oh man. I tell you, I can't tell you the number of times that I've had guests in here in the studio who were not here to talk about the parking thing in St. Joseph.
But it comes up.
But it comes off typically when the microphones are off.
Oh, okay.
And they have opinions.
Ah.
Oh man. So anyway, we'll talk a little bit about some public opinions in just a couple of minutes on what's happening with parking in St. Joseph. This will be the first full week of it here in St. Joseph, the paid parking regimen, and we'll give you some early returns on how it's going. But first, let's take a look at the weather quickly. We've got windy conditions outside. It's a bit chilly out there. It feels about 10 degrees colder than what the temperature reads, but the thermometer says 46 in Benton Harbor, 47 in St. Joseph, South Haven 44 degrees. In St. Joseph right now, it feels like it's 32 degrees, and we do have rain coming in. Supposedly, it's going to hit around 9 o'clock this morning. We're going to have cloudy skies today, a 70% chance of rain. Isolated thunderstorms are possible, breezy and cool. The high today only getting up to 55 degrees, and it won't feel like that, especially by the lake, as long as this wind continues. We have winds out of the east, 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting up to 35. Tonight's forecast, cloudy, a 70% chance of rain, breezy, and a low of 48. The wind will continue. Wednesday's forecast, tomorrow, we're looking at another mostly cloudy day, another 60% chance of rain, a high around 57 degrees. Extended forecast, looking at Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Thursday and Friday, partly sunny. Only a 20% chance of showers and a high around 58. We're going to keep most of that sunshine on Saturday, Sunday, it looks like. Partly sunny skies both days, but the highs, again, only in the lower to mid 60s. Cardinals dominated the Tigers last night, unfortunately. 11-4 was the final. They will play again tonight.
Ooh.
The first, yeah, I know, 11-4. They'll play again tonight. First pitch is set for 7:45 this evening. You can hear it right here on your official Detroit Tigers baseball station, WSJM. The pregame show starts about a half hour before that, so about 7:15 or 7:20 we'll have the pregame show, but the Tigers' first pitch, 7:45. Good?
Good.
Good. All right, let's do news. May, the month of May, is Women's Health Month, and doctors are reminding women of all ages to take some simple steps to ensure they stay healthy and don't let small problems turn into big ones. Dr. Heather Figueroa is an OBGYN with Corewell Health in St. Joseph. She tells us you might be surprised to learn about the biggest health threat that face women today.
The number one killer of women is actually cardiovascular health. And that is something that even small, simple things that women can do day to day can really add up to make a difference in the long-term health and longevity and quality of a woman's life.
Figueroa says things like taking regular walks and reducing salt and sugar intake can make a big difference. She says it's also important to get those regular checkups to watch out for things like cancer.
I find that a lot of women put off their health for a variety of reasons, or they wait till things get really, really bad before they seek care. And what I hope to do is establish a relationship, a rapport with my relationship, that we check in once a year, see how they're doing.
Dr. Figueroa says cervical cancer screenings should start at around the age of 21, while regular mammograms should start at age 40. But that also depends on your family history. She says if she's had patients start those screenings earlier if they have a family history of cancer. The important thing is getting those regular checkups about once a year. The St. Joseph Maud Preston Polinsky Memorial Library is starting a new program to help stimulate brain development in young people, small children, thanks to a grant from the Bosch Community Fund. Nancy Steinmetz is the supervisor of children's programs at the library and tells us Block Play, that's capital Block, capital Play, supports language, social and emotional development, and problem solving in a natural context.
People of all ages, usually families, can come in, and we will have carpets set up with the 5 carpets. Will each have a different type of block to play with. So it's working on cooperative skills, math skills, family time and fun in the building, and STEM.
The kids get blocks that vary in size from small to giant. Steinmetz says their imagination is then the limit. The library wants to get block play out and about.
We are hoping to get out into the community as well. So hopefully we'll be able to attend some preschools and schools and just kind of reach out to the community with the blocks.
Steinmetz says library staff will facilitate events with 5 block stations to promote math learning and science concepts through play, problem solving, and conversations. Block play starts June 10th at the library and will be held each Tuesday through July 29th from 4:30 to 5:30. Steinmetz says this is the first time the children's program has received grant support from the Bosch Community Fund, and they say it's greatly appreciated. You ever play with blocks? I play with blocks.
Yes, I did. I still do.
Yeah. Rubik's Cube, you advanced it. Okay.
All right.
I'm curious to see what this block play is, because I hear the description here, but I think, okay, how is that different from the blocks that we played with as kids?
Wooden blocks.
The wooden blocks with the, I'm thinking of the red ones, the blue ones, the yellow, the green. I think that was it. That's all we had.
No, I had the ones with the letters and numbers on them.
Yeah, letters and numbers.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, mine did too.
Yeah. Right.
And you could never say, they never gave you enough vowels to spell words, at least me. Anyway. All right. Anyway, block play. Check it out. St. Joseph Public Library. Other news, the Berrien County Parks Department will hold a chemicals and electronics recycling event. That's coming up next month. And this time it's being hosted in the southern half of the county. WSJM's Andrew Green.
The department says Berrien County residents can drop off electronics, household chemicals, batteries, and home medical waste on Tuesday, June 3rd from 2 to 6 p.m. at the Chickiming Township Hall in Harbert. The event will be drive-through only, with everyone pulling up in their vehicles while staff and volunteers unload items. As far as electronics, they'll take anything with a cord and items that run on batteries, including computer equipment, large appliances, lights, phones, tablets, power tools, DVD players, and stereo equipment. Those items will all be free to recycle. TVs and computer monitors will come with fees of $20 and $10, respectively. For chemicals, the county will take home, garden, and workshop chemicals, cleaners, oils, fuels, solvents, pesticides, oil-based paint only, and cleaners. The county holds several recycling events throughout the year. Andrew Green, WSJM News.
And finally, if you or someone you know is looking for a job, be warned about using artificial intelligence. Shannon Edlinger from the human resource consulting firm Robert Half says a lot of people are turning to AI to make their resumes stand out and more reflective of sought-after skills. Edlinger says you can use AI as a starting place, but it should not be the final product.
AI-generated software completely create different resumes for each job description. Now, my clients or employers across the Metro Detroit area are receiving identical copies of resumes. Huge red flag that this specific resume was mass-produced for multiple applicants.
Edlinger says use AI to help prepare for an interview or to help find jobs that match your skills, but don't rely on it to write your resume or fill out an application. A recent survey by Edlinger's firm finds that many people are having trouble finding a job that aligns with their skills. 22% are challenged with the interview process, and 16% are challenged with having their applications stand out. Can you imagine going for a job interview and the interviewer comes to you and says, "Hey, I was looking at your resume and it looked a lot like Bob's and Sally's and Ted's."
It wasn't mine. I didn't do it.
AI generated it for me, but that's me. That's my name.
Right.
Anyway, so good caution there. 7:14, it's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me this morning, my guest co-host is Quintin Carroll. He is actually an employee of Midwest Family Marketing and Communications. He helps with the Coaches Show, among other things here. He's been here for about 15 years, but we'll be on the video live stream in just a moment to learn a little bit more about Quintin, so tune in for that. Here on the radio, we'll stay with sports, and we've got a couple other messages, and then we'll be back. It's WSJM. Okay, we're back on the video live stream. I told you it's going to move fast during the 7 o'clock hour.
Well, I can't see it, but I do see it. Yeah.
Everyone sees it. Good morning to those of you on the video live stream. It is the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg, and Quintin Carroll is here. Quintin, for those who may not have been with us last hour, just give a brief overview of your origin story as a superhero. Give us your brief background.
Yes, I started with Midwest Family back in 2009 as an intern. Then I transitioned a year later to a part-time employee for the remotes, games. And I've been in Michigan since about 1992.
Yeah. Hail from Chicago.
Yes.
You come from Chicago.
Right.
And Chicago, fun town, but I mean, it is kind of a chore to get over there from time to time.
Yeah, I just
especially with the construction. I came back the other day and it was down to like a single lane around I can't remember if it was Michigan City or New Buffalo. Anyway, down to a single lane on the freeway.
That sounds about right. Unless you take the back roads.
Yeah. What do you know what's the best way to get in without paying tolls? Or even with paying tolls, do you know? Is the Skyway Bridge a good way to go?
It can be.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not sure what the tolls are now because
a lot. They're expensive.
Oh.
And they put them on the app thing so they automatically charge you.
Oh. Okay.
So now you don't even have to stop. Well, I don't think it's true there. There, I think you still have to whip out the credit card. But there, between here and O'Hare, there are a lot of the you don't have to stop anymore. You just go.
iPass.
Well, you can do the iPass,
Okay.
but if you don't have the iPass, you just roll right through. It captures your license plate, and
you pay later.
You pay later if you have the app set up, or you pay a lot later if you don't.
Oh,
because they know who you are. So it's very all right. So you've been here in Southwest Michigan since 1992.
Yes.
And you also work at the Cook Nuclear Power Plant. But tell us again what got you interested in radio in the first place?
It started when I was about 6 or 7 years old, listening to the radio in Chicago, WVON, and the on-air guys, Bill Crane, Herb Kent, Herbie Spann. They were all having a great time.
Yeah.
I listened to the music, and when they would come on and speak, they were just having such a great time. And I thought, well, maybe, these guys are having a good time. Maybe I can do that. Maybe I should do that. So that was my inspiration for radio. Yeah.
Yeah. What I love about it is it's constantly changing. There's some things that are still the same, but it's constantly changing. And one of the things that constantly changes is how it's consumed, not necessarily what's consumed, but how it's consumed. I mean, because it at the core of it, I still feel that good radio is all about getting to know the people, trust the people that you're hearing from, and hearing those stories that are unique and that are shared, and that they're kind of our journeys through life. So it's just, to me, it's a great opportunity to share those stories, and that's why one of the reasons why I love working here is we have that freedom to do that, whether it's on the radio or through our podcasts or anywhere else.
I enjoy what I do. I really like this. Like I said before, I'm not used to being on this side.
We'll get you more on that side in just a moment, right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We've got weather right now.
50s with a high of about 55 degrees today. Scattered rain showers continue tonight. Breezy and cool. We drop to 48. And then for tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Scattered rain showers continue with a high of 57. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Puja.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:18, it's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning, I'm Ken Lundberg. We've got Tuesday on tap. It's May 20th, and I've got Quintin Carroll here. He's my guest co-host today.
I'm loving the music. You shouldn't stop, right?
I picked that out personally, so thank you.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
You got good taste.
I got to pick some more. We've got on the temperature gauge right now, it's 46 degrees and windy out there. Chance of rain starting in the next hour or so. So St. Joseph, Benton Harbor, the rain is going to start probably within the next hour. The feels like temperature, even though it says it's 47 degrees out there, it feels a lot colder because of the wind. Feels like, maybe 32 degrees in St. Joe right now.
So what happened to spring?
Well, we had spring for a day, and then we had summer, and then we had winter, and now we're back to winter, thinking about getting out to spring. One of the things that we've been talking about is parking in downtown St. Joseph,
right, which is not going well.
Well, I think it's too early to say. However, I think there is an immediate impact being felt by those who have businesses down there.
Okay.
And so they're letting their feelings be known they're talking about it, and we've been talking about it here on the radio on both sides, both from the perspective of those who want to see the traffic move, the commerce pick up a little bit more,
Right.
who are concerned that there are people who are not spending money in our businesses downtown taking up those parking spots. And so the I don't want to say solution, the countermeasure that they came up with,
Which is
the countermeasure is make it paid parking on the west side of Main Street. So if you think about State Street in downtown St. Joseph, they now have the parking meters installed. They now have the signs. They now have the parking ambassadors. They're issuing tickets already for anyone who's not paying to park in front of those businesses. And so there were a lot of business owners that were I think apprehensive about the potential and wanted to see what would happen. So I think it still feels like it's early yet. It's not even a week old having the new parking regimen in place, but already some people are raising some concerns. And I saw this on Facebook, and the owner of the Buck, Ken Kosminski, who is an advertiser on the air here as well, has weighed in, and I thought it was pointed out to me as a very thoughtful post, as one that was very reasonable, and one that to me at least was somewhat thought provoking, and hopefully these questions will be followed up on. But what the post says, and I'll read portions of it here right now, is, he starts off with kind of the funny part of, it's best to stay out of discussions regarding decisions made by the city of St. Joe. I learned to never comment publicly on any of it. Keeping opinions and ideas to yourself is the safe path. There is a core group of people at the city that does our thinking on these issues. And I am asking these questions. This comes again from a business owner to help come to grips with some form of actual logic here. Was this a thoughtful decision to start charging for parking? Was it made based on facts and financials? Was this a good idea to implement it before the tourist season even arrives? What is the strategy of the policy? What is the city's goal from this? And what impact will this have on local businesses and employees? The new policy opens up all of the parking spaces downtown. Note these photos, and there are several photos posted here, were taken at 1:04 in the afternoon on Monday. Paid parking ambassadors are wearing orange. Parking patrol vehicles with 2 paid city employees went by twice in 10 minutes. So what the pictures show is a lot of empty parking spots. And the idea was, as it was presented by city officials, is we wanted to open up those spots so that more people could move in, so that you'd have more churn and more turnaround, that you wouldn't necessarily notice more parking spots being open. Wouldn't necessarily notice that, but what you would notice is that there would be more turnover.
Right.
What we're seeing now,
It's not happening.
What we're seeing now is empty spots altogether, like all empty. And I don't think that's what the intention was. It's early yet.
Yes, it is.
And that's the other point that Ken raised in his post was, why before Memorial Day? If you're looking to turn that tourist traffic around during tourist season, then start it at tourist season,
Which they should.
with the Memorial Day holiday.
It's way too early. Way too early.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I mean, I know they've been talking about and looking at the parking issue in downtown St. Joseph for a very long time, and they've had consultants, they've had studies, and they're trying this plan. I mean, they're all in at this point because they've got the meters installed, they've got the signs installed, they've got the people hired, they've got the way to enforce it. But again, you went from the Wednesday night when there was all kinds of cars, presumably from customers visiting these downtown businesses,
And now,
to now nothing.
Right.
Near nothing. And I have to tell you, I mean, I have driven through there a few times deliberately at different times to find out, okay, what does it look like down here right
It's
now?
empty pretty much.
There are a handful of cars. It's different. I wouldn't say it's empty completely. I mean, a lot of the pictures do show empty areas, but I think this is more than what they anticipated. Perhaps things will change after Memorial Day, which, coming up this weekend.
They should.
I'm sure the business folks hope so, because the business owners are saying things along the lines of, in fact, one of them has signs posted in their front door that says, we understand the parking situation is not enjoyable. We don't like it either. I'm paraphrasing.
Right.
We don't like it either.
Right.
But please, this is our livelihood. We
is.
appreciate your support. So we'll see. We've got more to talk about with that.
But normally when I drive downtown St. Joe, before this happened,
Right.
I would see cars parked everywhere.
Yes.
And I've driven down this past weekend, and it was not as many cars as would normally be.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think if you're going to make a decision, you can make a better decision if you have data. And what I'm hoping is that we can get some sort of handle on what kind of data do we have. Okay, if there are more spaces open, that's great. But let's look at the apples to apples comparison of how is walk-in traffic at your store? How is revenue? I mean, that's
right.
Revenue is a great thing.
Right.
But how is walk-in traffic in those areas? Has it dropped off at all? And what will it do over the coming month? I think, looking at it a couple of weeks before Memorial Day, after a couple of weeks after Memorial Day, seeing what those numbers tell you, what story they tell you will be very telling.
Things should pick up after Memorial Day.
I hope so.
But I think it's way too soon. They should have started maybe the week of or the weekend before.
Yeah. I thought they should have given some grace period instead of writing tickets that first day.
That's not fun at all.
Ease us into it, please.
Exactly.
All right. We know everyone has positive intent. I hope they do. I trust that they do. And that we'll continue to work through some of these issues. We'll continue to follow it news-wise as well, but we'll continue also to bring you these anecdotal stories, because I think raising it up and hearing from voices that are directly affected by it is important.
So what are the residents saying?
So far, don't know. However, I will. It's a good question, Quentin, because I'm interested to understand. Because when there's that divider line between the paid parking and the free parking, everyone's piling up on the free parking side of it, and that's typically primarily in the residential areas.
Right.
And so, if I'm a resident in that area where I used to have nothing in front of my street, not a lot of traffic, not a lot of noise, not a lot of whatever it is, now I have a lot of that. And so that's changed a little bit of the character, or could potentially change the character of some of the neighborhoods. And so we'll keep an eye on it. Somebody said it's like Krasl Art Fair now all day long, because you've got the cars parked up and down the streets there in that residential area. Good question.
Is there a solution, you think?
Great question. I think a lot of people have been putting their minds to this. I don't know that we have solutions, but I think there are countermeasures, and it will be important to keep an eye on how they check and adjust to meet the objective that they were going for, which was to free up some parking spots so that you could have more commerce rotating through, to increase the amount of foot traffic and hopefully commercial sales in downtown. So we'll see.
Let's hope it works out.
Let's hope it works out. We'll keep an eye on it and see if it does. All right, we've got more news to talk about. I wanted to talk about this because a lot of people, with summer and Memorial Day coming, they're going to get on airplanes. They're going to go other places. For travel. And Southwest Airlines has issued an urgent warning to passengers who want to charge their mobile phones and other personal devices with a portable power bank. Do you use one of these? Have you ever used one of these?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know what the portable power bank is?
Yes, I have one.
Yeah. It's just what is it? It's like, I don't know, about the size of a sandwich, almost a sandwich.
Pretty much, yes. A smaller.
Yeah, a little thinner than a sandwich.
Right.
Not my kind of sandwich.
No.
But a smaller sandwich.
Right.
And it looks like, for those of you who had the portable hard drives, it looks like that.
Okay.
And so all it is a big battery that you can use to plug into your phone, so that if you're on the go and your battery's dead on your phone and you need a charge and you don't have a plug handy, you've got this extra battery. It charges it up. It's a great thing.
Exactly.
So the problem, however, is according to Southwest Airlines, these devices are causing some scares and some mid-flight fires because the chargers are exploding into flames mid-flight.
Oh,
that's not a good thing.
That's not good at all.
No. When passengers go to check in for their flight on the Southwest Airlines mobile app, you will see a new pop-up screen warning
Do not.
Yeah, with special instructions for anyone bringing a portable charger on their upcoming flight. The warning says, keep power banks in plain sight. If you use a power bank during your flight, keep it out of your bag and in plain sight. Do not charge the devices in the overhead bin. In other words, don't put your phone up there with your power bank and charge. I've seen suitcases have these power banks built in.
And they blow up? Or
well, they're lithium ion batteries. And lithium ion, if they're punctured, if they get exposed to oxygen, if the internal elements get exposed to oxygen, they flame out. They flame up in a big way.
That's not good.
That's not good at all.
Not on an airplane, no. It's not.
No. So airlines are increasingly concerned about the risk posed by these portable power banks because the bulky lithium ion batteries used in those devices are prone to overheating, which can cause what's called thermal runaway. We've all seen that on the science fiction movies, thermal runaway, where something gets so hot, it just keeps getting hotter and hotter and hotter and until it bursts into flames or explodes. So a thermal runaway can cause lots of heat, sparks, fire, smoke, can be very difficult to extinguish, and that poses the obvious dangers in an airplane cabin when you're flying.
Which is not good on
Not the place to do it. So Southwest Airlines is saying we're concerned as well, and so they're stopping short of banning these things, but they're saying don't keep them in confined spaces and keep them in plain sight so that you know what's happening with it.
Right, exactly.
And then put it in your coffee cup when you're done with it. No, don't do that.
So don't they have charging ports on the airplanes?
You know, I've been on some airplanes where they have plugs. Some of them look like European plugs. Some of them look like American European plugs. I've never really used them that much because I don't trust them. I don't know.
Why not, Ken?
I don't know. Give me a regular power outlet in the airport. All right, we've got more things to talk about. We've got more news from Bloomberg. We'll have the latest financial news. Mortgage rates going up again.
Not again.
They are. I think they crossed 7% again.
That's not good.
Not good for home buyers. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about ABC. They have the latest world and national news. We'll preview what's coming up at 8 o'clock in our WSJM news. It's all coming up right here on WSJM.
What would you call a
Okay, back on the video live stream. How we doing so far? Doing all right?
So good.
All right.
I'm getting into this now.
Okay, good. Good. Let's see. Oh, we've got a lot of comments here on the video live stream. I knew we would. Teresa says good morning. Good morning, Teresa. It's good to see you. Bill says good morning as well.
Good morning.
Let's see. Teresa says, when is it going to be summer again? Well, look at your calendar, and I'm going to look at your calendar, Teresa, and get a highlighter. I've got 2 days. We'll have 2 days. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see what else we've got. Teresa says it was not a good idea for paid parking. I think a lot of people echo that sentiment. She also heard there was going to be a parking garage downtown. That's an idea they've talked about a lot, but they have not executed upon it.
Where's it going to be?
Well, for a number of reasons. Number one, where will it be? They also wonder, okay, how do we operate it? How do we administer it? Will it be an expensive thing that we don't need when it's not tourist season, right? Because the paid parking downtown is only from May 15 to September 15.
Right.
Let's see. James Bingham said, I made the decision not to go downtown St. Joe this weekend because of the parking. We were going to go to a restaurant and dessert downtown, but decided not to because of this. I think that's a popular thought shared by many, is that let's say you're going to go downtown for an ice cream, and then all of a sudden you almost double the cost of that ice cream, depending on what you do. I don't know. So I think there are some legitimate concerns out there about.
So people are not happy.
Those impulse purchases you might make. Yeah, I don't think people are happy. Now on the other side of it, you go to a major metropolitan area or even some smaller communities. You do have a paid parking situation, and it doesn't really discourage people from going and making those trips. So why here? Maybe it's just the change management that people are a little bit.
I think people are just used to doing it.
Yeah, they don't like change.
No.
Yeah.
Because normally you just go downtown, you park, you don't worry about it. But now it's a concern because there's paid parking. And what is it? $2 an hour or
$2 an hour on street parking and $1 an hour in the city lots. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I think people maybe should get the parking pass perhaps and park in the Paid parking?
Oh, well, you can't get a pass for the paid parking. If you are a St. Joseph resident, you can get a beach pass, right, for like Kiwanis and that kind of thing.
Okay.
But you can't. You can't get a pass for the paid parking situation downtown unless you have the low income disability waiver, but you have to apply for that. So I think it will be telling as it continues to get implemented. So we'll continue to share some stories here, and we obviously invite people from both sides of the issue to come in and share more about it as it gets developed. I don't want to be part of the sharing half known things about it. I think we need to make sure that we're giving out the facts as we know them and telling the stories as they happen. But we don't want to add to the, I don't know, what do you call it? The
chaos
on the social media that we see. So that's why I shared that one post from Ken Kosminski from The Buck, because I thought it was well thought out and very well presented. And he's got about 92 comments on it so far. All right, 7:36 WSJM Morning Show continues. Thank you for joining us. We've got the Bloomberg Market Minute coming up here in just a moment. Quintin Carroll is my special guest co-host.
Good morning again.
Let's see. Bill said that would have been better than having them pay to park in town. Which part, Bill? Sorry, I was moving between screens. I didn't see what we were saying when you said that. Anyway, what do you do in your spare time?
I'm here.
This is your spare time.
Yes,
this is your hobby. Radio.
Actually, I'm on vacation now, or a staycation.
Oh, nice.
So I'm just relaxing, taking it easy, doing what I want to do. Go see a movie, go out to eat, go to Chicago and visit family.
I want to talk about your movie preferences, but we don't have time right now, so we'll come back and talk about that.
All right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. You ever listen to Andrew Green's movie reviews? If you don't,
no, I have not.
You should.
Okay.
We've got him on demand on our podcasts, and we play him every Friday here. He has the flick pick. So we'll tell you about that in a few minutes right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Morning after stocks inched higher to start the week. The Dow is up 137 points. The S&P added 5. The NASDAQ rose just 4 points yesterday. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:37, it's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me, my special guest co-host this morning is Quintin Carroll. Quintin, how we doing so far?
So far, so good.
Am I operating the board okay?
You're doing okay.
Just okay? Typically, Quintin is in this chair operating the board. He helps make sure that we get good programming on the weekends, including the Coaches Show. Now, the Coaches Show, by the way, it goes from 8 to 10 every Saturday morning.
Right.
And It's Brett Witkowski and Phil McDonald.
Yes.
And not necessarily in that order, but they bring in the area coaches, they bring in the athletic directors, they bring in athletes as well. And Quintin is the person that makes sure everything runs well and runs smoothly here on the air. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
We appreciate that.
But you're doing a great job, actually.
Well, I mean, I was going to ask between me, Brett Witkowski, and let's leave Phil McDonald out of it because he's a professional. But between me and Brett, who's better? Who's better on the air? And remember, I have control of your microphone.
I would say, Ken, that you come in the number 1 spot.
Thank you.
And Brand is number 2.
Very good. We will take the thumb screws out. And now that you've answered that question correctly, 7:38. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We've got a weather forecast. Cloudy skies. Expect rain to start here in Southwest Michigan within the next hour. If it's not raining already, it's moving in from the south. Cloudy skies. A 70% chance of rain through the day. Isolated thunderstorms are possible. Breezy and cool conditions. A high today around 55. Winds out of the east 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting up to 35 miles per hour. That's why it's chilly outside.
Are you sure there's no snow in the forecast?
There could be. I mean, we have a feels like temperature in Benton Harbor right now. Remember earlier this morning it felt like 32.
So what is it
now feels like 30.
Oh, wow. We've dropped 2 degrees.
We dropped a couple of degrees.
All right.
So snow might not be too far out of the picture. Same thing in St. Joseph right now.
Not.
Yeah, in St. Joseph, it feels like 30. Up in South Haven, the feels like 28 degrees.
Wow.
28 degrees. And maybe that's why they're holding off on lifeguards up in South Haven.
I think so. Yeah, exactly.
Mostly cloudy skies expected tomorrow on your Wednesday with a 60% chance of rain, a high of 57. And then Thursday should be partly sunny. Still keep that chance of rain around. Same thing for Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, just see partly sunny skies at this point with highs in the lower to mid 60s. It's 7:40. We've got the latest world and national news.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Some of the more than 30 million Americans under alerts about potential violent storms this morning got hit by tornadoes overnight, and some are picking up from weekend storms. ABC's Lionel Moise.
Widespread damage in northern St. Louis and public outrage with sirens not going off in many areas.
There was a failure, a human failure, a failure in protocol to get the sirens up and running.
The mayor saying the fire department will now take the lead in sending those alerts.
A fourth New Orleans jail escapee has been captured out of the 10 who busted out last Thursday night. Some are charged with murder. The local district attorney says some of his staffers have left town fearing for their lives. President Trump's due on Capitol Hill this morning to push Republicans to pass a multi-trillion-dollar budget package. There are cuts to Medicaid, food stamps, and green energy programs. Stocks on Asian and European markets gained after China cut key interest rates. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:41. We've got more news coming up from the WSJM Newsroom at 8 o'clock this morning. Here are some of the stories that we'll be covering at that time. Benton Harbor city officials appear poised to approve another bailout for itself, moving $800,000 that was otherwise intended for streets and sidewalk improvements over to its general fund to pay for overdue bills. They had another regular city commission meeting last night to talk about the issue just a little bit. They didn't decide anything. That will be later on in the week and next week, but we'll tell you about the latest developments in that story coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Also, the city of South Haven is hiring a project management firm to help it establish a lifeguard program at its beaches. At Monday's regular meeting of the South Haven City Council, the city manager presented the final cost estimates to get lifeguards back at the city's beaches. She says her staff is currently stretched too thin to implement such a program, so they wanted to hire an outside firm to do it. The cost for the first year of the lifeguard program, they estimate around $619,000. The second year, $383,000. They don't know how they'll pay for it, but they say they could potentially start it by Memorial Day of 2026. So we'll talk about that story coming up at 8 o'clock. Also in the news, the Benton Harbor Department of Public Safety has had a busy few days after responding to a couple of fires, one of which it calls suspicious. So we'll tell you about those stories and more. That's coming up at 8 o'clock. It's 7:42. It's the WSJM Morning Show Sports coming up after a look at state news.
The Michigan News Network.
All right, back on the video live stream. I'm Ken Lundberg here with me, my special guest co-host, Quintin Carroll. Quintin?
Yes.
The morning's flying by.
Yes, it is.
7:42 already.
I don't believe it.
Are you a morning person?
I have to be.
Yeah?
Yes. Well, no, I'm not really. But
Okay.
Because I get up so early in the morning going to work.
What time do you typically get up?
About 3:30.
Wow, that is early.
It is.
You get up only a half hour after I do.
But I'm not due to work till 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But you have to start at 6.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Traffic is nice that time of day, isn't it?
There's no one out there.
It is beautiful. And I'm not sure. I don't really want to put this out there yet, but I feel the need to at least acknowledge. It feels like the stoplight at Colfax and Napier.
It is longer.
Well, I feel like they fixed it.
Fixed?
I don't know.
Fixed?
I don't know. Today when I rolled up to it, it immediately changed. And that hasn't happened for like 2 months. 2 months has been broken and long.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah. So the timing and the sensors and stuff like that not working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not supposed to work that way. They're supposed to. Yeah. So hopefully somebody's fixed it by now.
I hope so.
If they haven't, it was just a pure luck and happenstance. But 2 days in a row now, it seems to have turned like when I got there, which is what it's supposed to do if there's no oncoming traffic.
Okay, I did notice this morning it wasn't as long as it was before, because normally I go through there and I sit for about 2 minutes.
When there's no other traffic around.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, drives me crazy.
Yeah, me too.
The big things in life, right?
Right.
Anyway, you are a fan of movies and you like a specific genre of movies. What do you like to go see?
Science fiction.
Ooh, do tell. Do tell.
My favorite movie is Back to the Future, all 3 movies, which I didn't like. I liked the first one, but the second 2 movies I wasn't a fan of.
Okay.
But then I started watching like, oh, this is actually, really good movies.
The more you watched them, the more you appreciated them.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
All right. Back to the Future. How do you feel about Star Trek and Star Wars?
I'm not a real big fan of Star Trek. My brother is, but I've never really liked Star Trek.
Okay. So do you like Star Wars?
Star Wars, I saw the first Star Wars, and which one was that? When Darth Vader became Darth Vader? Or Anakin became Darth Vader.
The actual first movie,
Yes.
which was the 4th movie of the original 7.
So it's all kind of...
Yeah, it's all full circle. It's just a Shakespearean tragedy. That's all it is.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, it's got the classic story structure of this, that, and the other thing. And yeah, I mean, but it's a fantastic story. Love it. I just love it.
So you're a fan of it.
I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. And I love Star Trek. I don't think you have to like or dislike one or the other, because I appreciate both.
So the original Star Trek?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the original.
Captain James T. Kirk?
Captain James Tiberius Kirk.
Oh, wow.
Tiberius was his middle name. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not that I'm a fan of that at all. But no, I mean, it was, let's be clear, it was in reruns when I initially saw it. It wasn't original stuff.
Right, exactly.
But it was reruns. And then I really got into the Next Generation with William Picard. Was it William Picard? Bill Picard? What was his name?
William Picard.
William Picard.
Yes, I think
Captain Picard.
Yes.
And the whole crew there. So that was fun.
Who's your favorite character?
Which one? In Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Trek.
Okay, Star Trek. My sons, because I have 3 sons, Stuart, Sawyer, and Samuel, and they all know that whenever I'm posed the question of favorites, I don't choose because I don't have I don't have favorites.
Very smart.
I don't have favorites.
Very, very smart.
I don't have favorites. I have a great appreciation. I mean, in Star Trek, you got to go to Spock because he's got the logic,
right?
But he's also a human, so he's fallible. I think Scotty was funny. Kirk, I thought he was a little brash,
right?
little bit full of himself, but yeah, it's funny. To me, it's really funny. You think about that, season and a half, 2 seasons, whatever it was, back in the 60s of Star Trek, and to this day, I mean, there were some full length motion pictures later on. I think in the 80s, right, of Star Trek, and you think about William Shatner and his career. He has ridden that thing all the way till today. He's still doing commercials from that fame.
And he's 94.
Is he really? 94 years old?
Yes.
Wow. And he rode up into space on, was it Blue Origin? Is that what he did?
I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay. He flew up on one of those tourist rocket things.
Okay.
But that's so fun. Anyway, he's done a great job. More power to him. I would say more, may the force be with him, but that's Star Wars.
Right.
So, anyway, yeah. Nanu.
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
Live long and prosper.
Right.
Yeah. Here we are. Okay, 7:48. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Quintin Carroll is my special guest co-host this morning. Are you enjoying this? Is this all right?
I'm having a great time.
Okay, we'll keep doing it for another hour and 12 minutes. That's the morning show. We'll be back in just a couple of moments here on the radio with our Moody on the Market update.
This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Cloudy skies with rain showers today. At times, we'll see thunderstorms and lightning possible. Breezy and cool. Temperatures will stay in the 50s with a high of about 55 degrees today. Scattered rain showers continue tonight. Breezy and cool. We drop to 48. And then for tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Scattered rain showers continue with a high of 57. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Puja.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
7:49, the WSJM Morning Show continues. I'm Ken Lundberg here with Quintin Carroll, my special guest co-host today. It's 46 degrees out in Benton Harbor, and my weather notification just said moderate rain starting in your location. So we do expect rain, light, moderate, depends on where you are for at least the next hour, and rain forecast, as they mentioned, throughout the day. But 47 degrees in St. Joseph right now. South Haven, 45 degrees. And we have windy conditions, some rain. Let's see what the feels like temperature is. In St. Joseph, the feels like temperature is 30.
So we're back to fall again,
Back
right?
to fall again, although the leaves are green. So we'll keep this for a little bit, and then we'll get immediate summer. How about that?
That's Michigan.
This is our spring. Let's do our Moody on the Market update. Your Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. In our Moody on the Market update, we take a look at what's on moodyonthemarket.com and bring you those updates. Those updates are typically in one of three different categories, three different buckets. It's news, business updates. It's news from around Southwest Michigan, and why we love it here, and also interesting people you should know. And this is kind of a business update / life in Southwest Michigan. We love when we have an opportunity to recycle either free or cheaply, I should say.
Cheap is good.
Yeah, cheap is good. Inexpensively. Yeah. The Berrien County Parks Department is going to hold a chemicals and electronics recycling event. It's coming up next month. It's going to be in the southern half of Berrien County. The department says that Berrien County residents can drop off electronics, household chemicals, batteries, and home medical waste on Tuesday, June 3rd from 2 to 6 p.m. It's going to be held at the Chickaming Township Hall in Harbert. The event will be drive-through only, with people pulling up their vehicles while staff and volunteers unload the items. Can't be more convenient than that.
No, you can't be.
As far as electronics, they'll take anything with a cord and items that run on batteries, including computer equipment, large appliances, lights, phones, tablets, power tools, DVD players, stereo equipment. Unless it's a really cool old turntable that still works, maybe I'll take that.
Right.
Those items will all be free to recycle. Televisions and computer monitors, however, do have a fee attached to the recycling,
which is
because they have special things.
Right.
Well, for televisions, $20 to recycle.
Okay.
For computer monitors, $10 to recycle. That's not bad.
No, it's not.
That's not bad. For chemicals, the county will take home, garden, and workshop chemicals, cleaners, oils, fuels, solvents, pesticides, oil-based paints, and cleaners. Remember, you're not supposed to put paint in the garbage in your regular weekly pickup. You take it to special events like this.
Okay.
If you're dropping off medications, they say empty out the pill bottles into a Ziploc bag and just recycle that. Just destroy your own prescriptions. Destroy those bottles. You can keep those at home.
Okay.
And then Berrien County plans to hold several events throughout the year. We'll have more to tell you about in September and October, but this is kind of your spring cleaning event, and we have a link for more information if you want to check that out. So again, that's your update. Berrien County recycling event is coming up on June 3rd, 2 to 6 p.m. It'll be at the Chickaming Township Hall in Harbert. And that is your Moody on the Market update for this hour. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. More coming up in just a moment right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Rich Brand and Tarek Halsey of IMS Insurance.
Okay. This is that behind the scenes part that people get the exclusive video content on YouTube and Facebook. And sorry, right now I'm just making sure that we're going to time out just right. We got that one, that one, that one. Quintin's helping me out.
Can they see me?
Yeah, absolutely. They can see you. Yeah. Let's see. Have my comments stopped on the video live stream? I think so. Sometimes they just stop. But appreciate everyone who's on the video live stream right now. And feel free to absolutely give us a thumbs up or any kind of engagement. It improves our algorithm and gets the word out to more people that we do this on a daily basis. So thank you for doing that. We appreciate the thumbs up. We appreciate the smiley faces. Or if you want to put the dog turd on there, that's fine too. Whatever you want to do, we take it all. Quintin, what else is on your mind? So you like science fiction movies. What else do you do? Do you have any hobbies? Do you like to cook? Do you like to eat? What do you like to eat?
I like to eat.
Yeah. What do you like to eat?
Oh gosh. I love breakfast foods.
Yeah.
I can eat breakfast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Sausage, eggs, bacon, biscuits and gravy.
Oh man. Biscuits and gravy is so good.
Do I cook? Yes, I do, but not a lot.
Really?
Yes, because being a single guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best time to learn.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But I can cook.
Okay.
I just sometimes choose not to.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. So I remember when I was a young man living out in Seattle, it was expensive to go out and eat.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to cook myself.
Right.
And so the first thing I learned how to make myself was an invention that I did, which was basically you take a raw chicken breast and you take a bell pepper.
Yeah.
Cut the top off the bell pepper, make sure it's all hollowed out.
Right.
Put the chicken breast with some spices
Okay.
inside the bell pepper. Put the bell pepper top back on it. Wrap it in tinfoil. Throw it in the oven. Come back in, I don't know. I think I used to do it for like 25 minutes, maybe something like that, around
That sounds pretty
350.
good.
And it comes out, and it's the most moist thing ever. Now I'm a pescatarian, so I only eat fish and vegetables. Vegetarian basically that eats fish.
Okay.
So I don't make that anymore.
No.
So you may have that recipe.
Oh, thank you.
You're-
I'm going to try it.
Salt and pepper is all you need. Maybe a little bit of olive oil or something like that in there. Yeah.
Now, I do have a crock pot, which I use a lot. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Do you use it during the summer?
Yes, I do.
Really?
Yes.
I feel like that's forbidden.
Why?
Well, because it's warm outside, and so having warm stuff like a stew or a soup or something like that. What do you make in your crock pot?
Usually, I would do chicken rice.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Jambalaya.
Oh man, now you're talking.
Red beans and rice.
Yeah, now you're talking. That's good stuff. Okay, well, you can have it during the summer then.
Yeah.
That's good. I think crock pot and I think soup. Like squash soup, butternut squash.
Yeah.
You ever make that?
Okay.
No. You ever make that?
I haven't tried it, but I'm going to try it now.
You should try, if you've not made it already, spaghetti squash. You ever try spaghetti squash?
No. How do you make it?
So spaghetti squash is a certain variety, and basically when you roast it, the inside is very stringy like spaghetti.
Okay.
And so it's like a total gluten-free spaghetti because it's not pasta, it's just squash. So you roast it, you cut it in half, you take the seeds out. I think there are seeds in there, and then you roast it. And then you pull it out and put whatever sauce you want on top of it. And it's pretty good. Spaghetti squash. It's cheap, too.
Something new. I'll try.
All right. Back in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Benton Harbor St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
And my friends, this morning, we've had Quintin Carroll here as my co-host, my special guest co-host. Quintin, how has the experience been so far?
So far, so good.
So far, so good?
I'm loving this.
Oh, good. Thank you for coming in and doing this.
Thank you so much.
No,
Thank
this
you
is
for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, anytime. And do you have anybody out there listening to give you feedback, like real-time feedback on how you're doing?
Let's see if my pastor, my church members, my friends at the gas station in St. Joe.
You want to give them all a shout out?
Hi, everybody. Listen, I'm on the radio. I made it.
You made it a long time ago, but we appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Stick around for the next hour. Next hour, we will have United Way of Southwest Michigan. Zach East. You know Zach.
Yes, Zach.
Zach East will come in here and try to hog the radio for a while. So we'll have him on. We'll also have Kristen Box from St. Joseph Public Schools. She's the superintendent there. So we'll get the latest on what's happening. They had commencement this last weekend.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I heard some of the PA announcements from St. Joseph High School because they had it outdoors. And we've got a lot more coming up next hour as well. So hang around next hour. We do have a weather forecast. It looks like it's raining outside right now. And we expect that rain to continue at least for the next hour. And we could have it continue throughout the day. The cloudy skies are going to remain. We've got that 70% chance of rain showers today. Isolated thunderstorms are possible. So don't be surprised if you get the random lightning bolt down and clap of thunder. Breezy and cool otherwise. High around 55 degrees today. It'll be cooler by the lake, and it feels cooler right now because of the east wind, which is blowing 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts up to 35 today. Tonight's forecast, cloudy, more rain, breezy, low of 48. Wind will continue out of the east. Wednesday's forecast, mostly cloudy, a 60% chance of rain and a high around 57. The wind will continue out of the southeast. Thursday's forecast, partly sunny, a chance of showers and a high around 58. Same thing for Friday. Saturday and Sunday, at least at this point, they're just calling for partly sunny skies. So hopefully it'll be another barbecue type weekend with some blue skies, some strong sunshine. Only thing we're missing there is the high temperatures. The temperatures will be around 60, lower to mid 60s, and again, cooler by the lake. The Cardinals took it to the Tigers last night in Major League Baseball. The final was 11-4. They will play again tonight. This is the second game in their series of 3. The first pitch is set for tonight at 7:45. You can hear it right here on your official Detroit Tigers baseball station, WSJM. It's 8 o'clock. We've got the latest world news now from ABC. Our local news is next.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. President Trump's due on Capitol Hill this hour to push Republicans